good evening, and welcome back to the Imagine Me TV real life, real talk show with Arthur Lawrence. I know it's been a minute. It's been, whew, let's see, I don't even know how long it's been, but we are back, and hopefully we're just gonna go right through the year. But I just want to welcome everybody back, and it is so great to be back live with our viewers. I have missed you guys so much. But I want to shout out greetings to all our viewers. Guys, I don't have the whole list, but I know we have viewers in Korea, we have Canada, we have France, England, Africa, Dominica, Barbados, Spain, someone in Germany wrote to me, St. Martin, St. Croix, Antigua, I mean, all over the world. You guys know you can watch this show on Roku, Imagine Me TV, Live UR, TDN Network, of course, Facebook Live, YouTube. The show is everywhere, and I'm so excited to be able to come to you guys and just bring some amazing guests on. And just a quick about our show. It said that our show, it focuses on the many challenges people experience in the everyday life, the physical, mental health, racism. We talk about finances, career, lifestyle, faith, charity, small business. I mean, just anything that you can think of that is part of your life, we talk about it, because this is real life, real talk, real issues. We are not afraid to talk on any topic. So if you're there, you listen and say, you know what, I have a story to share. I have something that someone would like to hear. Just give us a call, just text us or send us a message, and we will see with something that, we want to talk about on the show. But today I am really, really excited, and I'm going to talk about our guests, and then when I do that, we're going to go into a quick commercial. But while we do that, I want you to go ahead and invite your friends, invite your family, because I know she has some really great information for us all over the world, but even especially here in the Fayetteville area. I know she has some information on an amazing school project, and I might be saying project, it might not be the right word. So I want you guys, I'm telling that to you early, so you can call your friends, call your family, call your enemies. Well, I don't know if you want your enemies to go to school with your children, but anyway, call everybody that you know, and just tell them to come on the show, because Miss Deborah Needles Woodard, I hope I pronounced her name right, is a native of Birmingham, Alabama. She grew up in the Church of God in Christ, where her father was the pastor. A preacher's kid. Yeah, like me, I was a preacher's kid. I am a preacher's, well, no. Am I a preacher's kid if my dad, whatever. Anyway, Deborah served in many roles in the church, which prepare her for a position in life. Deborah is a graduate of Morris Brown College in Atlanta, Georgia, and is a proud member of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority. She is the creator of I Am It. And I know she might pronounce it differently, but she'll explain all that to you guys. And the Feel Better Pals, which are animated characters developed to teach children the power of the words they attach to I am, and to break down the foundation of bullying. I mean, I think not children alone need that. We adults, so I think I might need some of that. She is a children's book author, speaker, and currently serves as the community outreach facilitator in Trilith Studio weekly devotion gathering. But man, you guys are in for a treat. We're gonna go into a quick commercial, and while we do that, I want you to go ahead and invite as many people as you can. We'll be back in a minute.
Do you want to grow your online presence and expand your business reach? Our marketing team can definitely help you. Advertise with us today and let Imagine Me TV take your business to the next level. We are offering 3 affordable packages to the end of 2020. Package number 1, you will receive 1 flash ad at the opening of the show. We will also share your business name, location, and phone numbers, and that is only $59.99. In package number 2, you will receive everything from package number 1, but you will also get a second flash ad in the middle of the show. In package number 3, you get to be the show sponsor, and you will receive everything in package number 2 Plus, we will list your website, and you will also have a 30-second video ad. These are some amazing prizes. So what are you waiting for? Contact us today at email address info@leagueyourbrandltd.com, or you can call us at 614-402-7034. You can also visit our website at leagueyourbrandltd.com. You can catch our show on several broadcasting platforms like liveyourstreaming.com, Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and also on Imagine Me TV network at League Your Brand Limited Company. We have viewers in all 50 states and globally. We are international, we are national, we are worldwide. Canada, Africa, Asia, Europe, the Caribbean islands, just to name a few. We are Imagine Me TV, your #1 virtual TV talk show.
And we are back live with Imagine Me TV, real life, real talk, real people. And today I just want to welcome my friend, my guest, Miss Deborah Woodard. Come on. Hello, my dear. Hello.
Hello there. How are you?
I am wonderful, and even better now that I see your beautiful smiling face. Whoa. I am really excited about today because I know that you have a lot of information to share. It's been since I know you in this last it's been like a couple years, but we're gonna talk about that more. You're really done a lot of great stuff and really empowered and encouraging, and so I just want to welcome you. Such a pleasure to have you on our show. So welcome.
Well, thank you. I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
Okay, so usually we just jump right into the show because when women start to talk, the hour can fly so quickly, and we want to get in as much as we can. So first of all, we're just going to go right into it. Say, can you tell us more about Deborah, who she is? Tell us a little about your family, your kids, and just so our viewers can have a picture of who you are.
Okay. Well, like as you said, I grew up in Birmingham, Alabama. I am a preacher's kid, and so I served in several roles in church. One that has stayed with me was that of musician. And so I'm currently a musician now for New Hope United Methodist here in Fayetteville, Georgia. I've played for several churches. I am married and have 2 children, both daughters, and even though they are grown, they still keep me pretty busy. I love hanging out with them. We are a very close family, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and I know they keep you young. I've had the opportunity to work with one of your daughters, even as a model, and also she's very funny because I know she had her own comedy show and stuff like that, and it was really amazing to work with her. And I've seen you guys together, and even sometimes if you don't look really close, you guys look like sisters. They keep you young, though. They keep you young. They keep you on your toes, right?
They really do keep me on my toes, that's for sure. That's kind of you to say that we look like sisters.
Yeah, because I saw the picture and it was like 3 of you, but even in the picture you could see the closeness, and I was like, wow, this is really amazing. That's how my daughter and I are. We love it. But when time comes to be the mother, she know who the mother is. So
that's true.
Yes. So well, that's great. We're gonna go into the second question, which is I know it's very interesting. I don't want to tell the story. I want you to tell the story. Tell our audience, how did you and I meet?
So we met down at what was then Pinewood Studios, and you would come every Wednesday faithfully to our community outreach gathering. And I just love your energy. You're just so warm and so friendly and always encouraging people. And if I recall correctly, I started asking you, so why don't you share your testimony with us? I think that's the way that went. And we convinced you to share your testimony, which was so powerful. So, yeah, that's the way we met.
Yes.
And we've been friends and sisters ever since.
Yes. So, from the day that we met, it was just like clockwork. We just I knew that God had a work for us to do, and
Mhm.
just even being able to talk with each other. And even when I started coming to the prayer breakfast. It was never in my mind that, hey, you're gonna get to speak there. I love the fellowship. I love coming every time because you never know what testimony someone was going to give and how it would just really bless your heart.
Mhm.
So I used to look forward to coming there. I think that was the only early thing I did in the morning because I am not a morning person. I can tell that to you. That was the only thing, and a lot of times he would call. I would ask him to come with me as well, just so I didn't have to drive, and
Mhm.
it wasn't too far. So, but even going there, I learned a lot. I grew a lot, and
Mhm.
I think that was one of the first time I really get to tell my story um, without, just so freely. And I
Mhm.
really just opened doors for me and stuff like that. So thank you for that opportunity. And I know it's still going on. We're gonna talk more about it, and hopefully I'll be back there sometime soon. Maybe when things lifted a little bit to be able to, talk a little more. But can you, well, right now, tell us more about the construction meeting, how it got started, and how is it going on right now, even with the pandemic and everything, because it's still going on. Can
Yeah,
you
it is still going on. And actually, the way it started back when they were just building Pinewood Studios, but that was the original name. It's now Trillis Studios.
mm,
But it's my understanding that they were meeting a deadline, and they had to meet this deadline in order to fulfill on a promise they'd made. And if they couldn't meet that deadline, then they'd lose all the money.
wow.
And they were really close to not being able to meet that deadline. And the owners got together and said, you know what? The only thing we can do about this is pray. So the guys, the workers started coming together every morning and they would pray. They would pray that they could meet their deadline. Then they start praying about personal things in their lives. And then they started sharing testimonies about how good God was and how
Wow.
God was working things out. And so it started being a thing. And even after they did meet the deadline, they were like, this is too good to let go. So they just continued the prayer gathering. And then other people from the community started saying, well, can I come?
Wow.
Yeah. And they said, well, yeah, you can come if you'd like to come. And so, and it just grew from just what, 7 men to at one point like 200 people.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So, and then I remember even when I came, it was such a blessing, like I said, because of the testimonies and to see when I heard that story and to see how it grow. The thing is, I think it's a lot more than 200 because most times I come, it's not the same people that are there. It's just,
Oh, yeah.
different people come. You may have a core group, but so many people, they're like, oh, well, I never seen you before. I'm like, well, I've been coming for more than a year. And,
Hmm.
so, a lot of people are coming through and it's so powerful. It's changing so many lives. But with the pandemic and everything, how have that affected the prayer meeting and stuff?
Well, when the pandemic struck, of course, like everybody else, we were just in shock. Nobody knew what to do. But one thing we did know is that we couldn't be without hearing testimonies about the goodness of God. Because the last thing we need is to be in a pandemic and be separated from each other and not be able to hear from each other.
Yeah.
So I think we missed a couple of weeks, and then we started having the prayer gathering on Zoom. And so now it's both on Zoom, and the Hannah Brothers restaurant is open back up. So we're there at the restaurant again, as well as on Zoom. So we are keeping the testimonies going and just encouraging people to just keep believing and trusting in God.
And it's open to the public. What if someone wanted to come or maybe wanted to share their testimony? How can you is it can you share that information or do
Sure,
they come there?
sure. So if they want to come in person, we meet at Hannah Brothers Restaurant there in the Trillis Studios complex. And you can just Google that address. I'm not sure of the exact address. And then if you'd like to share your testimony, you can just send us an email to studiotestimony@gmail.com, and we will be happy to get you signed up to share your testimony. We love to hear about the goodness of the Lord.
Yes, yes, very good. And even the word of God said, "Iron sharpens iron." That even as you hear other people's testimony, then it encourages and empowers you. So moving right along, we're doing well. Okay, so I know there's been so many different testimonies, so many stories, and I know some have made me cry. Some are just like, whoa. Is there any testimony that stands out in your head right now that really had an impact?
Absolutely. There are actually two.
Okay, go
And
ahead.
one was the very first one that I came to a few years ago. And as a matter of fact, I didn't even know where they met. I just had heard about it and I thought, I'm going to get in my car and I am going to find this place. And so when I got there, this gentleman was sharing his testimony. He had lost both his legs and one of his arms, and he was absolutely thrilled about the goodness of God. And he was so excited and he was just so pumped up. And all he could do is talk about how good his life is.
Wow.
And I thought, that's what I said. I was like, wow, he's been through all of this. He was in some type of accident. And
Oh,
after he lost his legs, his wife left him. And but still he was just so happy and so filled with the spirit that I thought I should never ever complain about anything ever again in life. So that was the one. I cried the whole time he shared his testimony.
wow.
And then the other testimony was this gentleman who actually joined our team, and he lost his sight. And it was really amazing that he needed to have an operation, but he had lost his insurance, so he couldn't get the operation. So as a result of that, he lost his sight, and he leaned on what he learned in church. And so he would walk through his house and thank God that he could see everything so pretty. And then he'd walk out on his deck and he said, "Oh God, thank you for those beautiful trees." He couldn't even see the trees.
Wow.
And he said, "Oh, my trees are growing so beautiful. I love it." Then he ventured out on his front porch and he'd hear his neighbors walking down the sidewalk, and he'd holler out and say hi to his neighbors and say, "You guys are looking great. So good to see you today." He couldn't see them,
Wow.
but he kept imagining that he could see, and he kept claiming that he could see. And when he and his wife would go to church and the pastor would call out a scripture, he'd ask his wife to turn in the Bible to that scripture. And she said, "But you can't see it." He said, "Just turn to it." So he kept doing everything as if he could see, and he kept trusting God. And now he can see
What?
without the surgery. He can see.
Praise God. Praise.
Yes,
That's a
yes,
wow. I need
yes.
to have him on my show.
Oh, you should have him on the show.
And I'm gonna have to get his information to have him on the show. I would love to.
Oh, absolutely.
Wow, because I think the world needs to hear that. But it's amazing because I think that's what sometimes we fail to do. Because sometimes and my daughter have said it to me, and maybe my husband has said it to me. Is like to think not of what you don't have. And even like sometimes on my wall, I have maybe like the house I want or the car, and I would
Mhm.
what I'm believing God for that. But I think we need to believe really even deeper, truly believe that, not
Right.
just say, but because he put action to his words.
Hmm.
He didn't just say what the Bible said. It's like he truly confessed it, and he was walking like it was happening,
Absolutely.
and it
Yeah.
happened. Wow,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a great testimony. Thank you for
Yeah.
sharing that. That's amazing. I would really love to have him on my show. So, but we're gonna go right into talking about the book. You're an author and you wrote a couple of books. Can you tell us more about the books that you've written?
Yes. So actually, I've got my first book here. I don't know if you guys can see it, but at any rate,
See
it's
it.
I'm it brings unity
You
to the
wanna
planet
hold it up a
Earth.
little more? Hold it up a little more. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
There it is.
Okay.
All right. And so all of my books are empowerment books for children. because I just think it's so important that kids grow up knowing that they have power in them. The Holy Spirit is in them at a very early age. And so we have to just groom them to use that power that God has given them, and to help them to learn how to use their words, because what you attach to I am is so powerful. And the gentleman I was just talking about who was blind, he would always say, I am healed. I can see. He always affirmed that he could see. And so we teach children to use affirmations. And the book is full of affirmations and things that children can use, and the parents can help them to learn to be empowered.
Very good. I love that. I love when you say that, empowering children. Well, you know me, I'm the empowering diva, the empowering queen, whatever. I love to empower people, and it is really, really true. And even when my kids were growing too, I there's nothing I made my kids believe that they could do. Any sports they wanted to play, didn't matter what it was. People thought it was for guys or girls or whatever. They did it.
Hmm.
We traveled. They would try things I wouldn't try, and it's true. I know even when my kids were really small, my oldest son at the age of 7, he was preaching. You know, the
What?
younger one was prophesying. He would, I mean, the younger one, we are here today. The younger
Hmm.
one that's in the Air Force, he gave me that prophecy in 2007 and said that we're going to be moving to Georgia. And he actually had the number of the street, and it was Sandy Lane or something. And we ended up living in Sandy Springs. And
Wow.
written in my book. You know, my
Wow.
daughter was filled with the Holy Spirit like at 6 years old, and I mean, it's just it's really important that we, if the Bible tells us to train up a child in the way that they should grow, them when they're young, you know. So I
That's right.
need to get this book out there. So it's is it on Amazon? Where can people find the book?
Yes, the book is on Amazon.
Okay.
Hmm.
That's good. And see that this is what we need to, this empowerment books and teachings. This is what we really need to get into the hands of our children. Before you know they get out there into the world and get all of the kind of stuff. So that is really really great. So what other projects are you working on right now?
So right now I am working with the Forest School, which is located in the Trilliff Development Center,
Oh,
formerly Pinewood. I have to keep reminding people formerly Pinewood because everybody knows it as Pinewood. But
yeah,
yeah,
call it
so
that.
they, yeah,
I just said when I was like, wait.
yeah, I know it. I know it. But they've got an amazing school down there. It's part of the Acton Academy. And I don't know if your viewers are familiar with the Acton Academy. I always tell people Acton is like Montessori on steroids of sorts. Now, that's my definition. Don't, that's not a scientific definition, probably not the accurate definition, but that's the way I look at it, because that school is absolutely amazing. They are training leaders. I mean, real leaders. I was just there a few weeks ago, and I had the opportunity to judge a pitch competition where middle schoolers and high schoolers pitched a $32 million project. And they had to plan the whole project out from beginning to end, get community input, cost out the products, everything. And these kids were absolutely
32
amazing.
million. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. And if I'm not mistaken, I think the winners actually got to pitch to either the Chamber of Commerce or something like that. So can you imagine being a young kid pitching a $32 million idea to somebody like that?
Yes, wow, that's
Yeah.
amazing. And I know we're gonna go into it a little more. And well, I guess because we're talking about it, maybe we should just continue. So I have a note. I said when we spoke a few months ago, you mentioned that amazing opportunity, especially for our young Black kids to attend a private, prestigious elementary, middle, and high school, right?
Hmm.
And
Right.
I'm not sure. Is it? I guess you're gonna explain to us if it's tuition free. Can you tell us more about the program, how they can be registered, and how they are eligible? So pretty much for someone that's watching, they're like, you know what, I want to hear about this, and you have a lot of time, so take your time and explain to it. That's not it. Explain to us what it is, please, so that way people can really get it.
Okay. So actually, like I said, it's an Acton Academy, and just to help people understand what that is, we're holding an open house this Thursday at 6 o'clock, and you can come in person, but you have to register to come in person because we are following the COVID protocols. So you have to register. So we'll make sure there won't be too many people there in the building. But also you can come via Zoom, and I will get that Zoom information for you. But yeah, it's an amazing school. The headmaster will actually facilitate the open house and tell you, oh, there it is right there. Yeah, so you can see all the information there, with the Zoom address and all of that. We'd love to have you join us, ask questions about the school. There are scholarships available. So I tell you, I would not miss out on this opportunity. It's an amazing place.
Sounds very good. I actually told my niece about it. She's in high school right now, and I believe her sister is in. She's just starting elementary school. I told him about it because I think even when you mentioned to me, because I mean going to a school in a place like that is to me is
Mhm,
amazing, especially for kids that are in the arts. I wish I had an opportunity for my children because they're all artists, so I think
mhm.
I pray that people will take that chance to either come to the open house, and I have the flyer, so we will definitely share it. We'll make sure we share the video, that way people can come to. Is it open to just the Fayetteville area, or?
No, no, it's open to anybody who wants to come.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow, that's good though. That's really good because most time it's just like this is, I mean, an amazing school, and it's just for that area. So
right,
good that it's open for anyone, and even with the high school kids, a lot of times high school kids they start driving at 16, so they might even be able to drive themselves there to say if they live in Atlanta or something.
right. That's true. Yeah,
Las
it's a
Vegas is an amazing place to come to. I mean, I even just coming to the studios, the Henner Brothers restaurant, just hanging out there and seeing the studios across the street there is amazing. So to be a part of that, wow.
yeah, yeah. It's really an amazing opportunity. It really is.
Okay. And so and you did say that there are some scholarships and as well,
Mhm.
so they have the opportunity to apply for scholarships.
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, I received a testimony from a young lady who was there at the enrollment last year when we did minority recruitment. And I didn't know her, but her mom knew someone that I knew. So her mom shared a testimony with my friend, and my friend forwarded it to me just the other day. And I tell you, I cried when I read it
Wow.
because her mom was talking about how her daughter's confidence has just soared so much,
Wow.
and how she's doing so great in school. And she actually was selected to represent her school at the National Organization of Independent Schools,
Wow.
and she crushed it. She killed it. Yeah, so this little girl is doing amazing, and I was just so thankful to have played just a tiny part in that.
That's good. And I know that you're really rooting for our kids too, because you put in the information out there, you're looking out for them.
Hmm.
I mean, just being able to be a part, starting that young in a school like that, it's amazing because most of them, people when they go to college, they want to get all this training and stuff, but to be able to get it, and I think the other amazing thing about it is maybe I'm just saying that there that going to the school, it might even open opportunities for them to get their internship. Writing in is it Truth? Truth.
Truly, yeah, yeah. So actually, it's funny that you mentioned internships because the students start having internships in middle school.
Oh
So
wow,
they have one internship per year in middle school, and then in high school, I think they may have maybe four internships in high school.
that is good.
But yeah, so much experience. By the time these kids graduate, they've had so much professional experience.
That
So they are really ahead of the game.
Well, I hope that everyone that's listening that can do it will do it because if I had a child, I would jump on it. Because once you told me about it, I told my sister. I said we need to get my two nieces in there. I told my friend about it. and I have the flyer, so I'm going to share it. I'm going to share it on my page because this is an opportunity that is literally just being thrown at our children and our grandchildren. And most time we say, well, we don't get the chance. We don't. Well, this is an amazing chance. This is an amazing opportunity. There may be
Mhm.
parents that can afford to pay. Those that might not be able, there will be scholarship. They might, I'm not saying promising anybody scholarship for them to say,
Right.
but you never know.
Hmm.
So we just want to encourage everybody to give it a try, or at least just come to the open house.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
and then all the information is on there, right? The open house and everything
Right. Uh-huh.
there. Okay, good. So what we'll do, we can just share it. I'll share it on my page again, so then that way, and it's right there. So I know watching it from afar it looks small, but I'm watching it on the Roku channel. I can see everything there. So that's pretty cool. I mean, thank you for bringing that information forward to us so that we can share it with our kids and with our neighborhood, with our community, because as you said, we want to train them while they're young, whatever opportunities they can have. That way, even when they go out into the world, that they're ready.
Absolutely.
I didn't get, and I wish I did, but it's maybe too late for me for some things, but now it's not too late for our kids and our grandkids. So thank you very much for
You're
that.
very,
I
you're
appreciate.
welcome.
So I have it. What is, and I don't want to butcher it. Is it Lamit?
I am it.
I am it. Okay, so I
Yes.
must have made. Okay, I am it. So that's the was that the book that you just showed us?
Yes.
Okay, so okay. So I think I may just have. So and again, you said that book is on Amazon. So is there like a little snippet you can read to us in it or something, just a little bit, so we can have a little idea?
So let's see here. What can I read to give you an idea of so there's one part in the book where I'm it is he's a big bear and he has come from the land of Feel Better, which is a far off planet, and he came to planet Earth to let all girls and boys know just how precious they are. And
Oh,
so when he gets to the planet Earth, there's one little girl who's saying to him that he didn't look like any of them and that she thinks his name is silly. And her friend says, well, don't say that to Emmett Bear because you may hurt his feelings. And he says, well, that's okay because I can only see through the eyes of love. Because if you notice, he has that little heart on his eye. So
okay.
he can
Yeah.
only see through the eyes of love. And how awesome is that? If we can train ourselves to see through the eyes of love, regardless of what's happening, let's just see the good in it. I love that.
Man, I love that concept though that you came up with. That's amazing. So have you created an actual bear for the character? Because that would be cool.
Yes, we actually have a life size mascot. And
Okay.
then we have the little small little teddy bear.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
available on Amazon as well, or just
No, the teddy bears aren't available. We just have the model of the teddy bear. I have been looking everywhere trying to get these teddy bears made. So if somebody is online and they
out
hear
there.
about it, yeah, just contact me because we are definitely want to get them made because I love the concept and I love for children to have a little huggable, cuddly bear as they read their books. Yeah,
Yes, I'm trust me, I would buy the bear too because like for Christmas,
I know it.
my friend was on my show and she had this little black dolls. I got one for me. It was supposed to be with me on the show. I'm like, okay, this is gonna be my dog because I got my niece one, and
Uh-huh.
this one I would just happen to end up getting an extra one, and she was like, well, you can give it to Lily. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep my doll. So I could be one of them that will buy the beer as well because I'm a child at heart, but I think it's just seriously amazing that we can what you're doing. I am it making sure that the kids know their value. Like for
Absolutely.
most of us as empowerment coaches or empowerment gurus, like I've always focused on maybe 13 and above, the older people, and I have about 365 I am. because I have a lot of quotes and stuff like that, and that's another project that I'm working on. But to for kids, I think that is really amazing. I'm definitely going to try to make sure my niece as well get one of those books. Make sure when we done, we can just put it in the, if you have a link, you can share it on the Facebook Live as well. That way, people can just go directly there and get it. Because I think maybe every household, and I think that would be a good gift for a bridal shower, not a bridal, a baby shower,
Hmm.
kid's birthday, because is the story behind it. You
Right.
know, when my kids were growing up, I strategically, when I go to the store, I did not have cable TV. I never put. I think maybe we tried it once, and I was like, you know what, I can't control what this kid. Let's get that out, and we took it out, and until they were, well, I think to this day, there was no cable in my house because I bought videos, and I think it was videos, then DVDs, because I wanted to control, for lack of a better word, what they watch.
Oh,
Because not
yeah.
that they just go, And so I made sure everything that they watched was either empowering, encouraging, and it was nothing about bullying and fighting people and stuff like that. And those, they have a lot of the characters that they are safe for kids, but there's some messages in there that are terrible for these children. So I was very careful what they watch. So I think having a bear like that tells such a message. I think everybody should try to make sure the kids have one of those. So I pray that someone that's watching also will know that you're looking for someone to help, mass produce these bears and
Hmm.
share this story. So let us keep on going, keep on going. Um, let's see. We're gonna talk about okay. Even and I know even for me as a business owner as well, it's not always easy. But what words of encouragement do you have for someone that is thinking about starting a business or just need encouragement in moving forward with the vision that God has given them?
Well, you took the words out of my mouth because I was going to say vision comes from God. And anytime God gives you a vision, my daddy would always say, we're there. When God gives you a vision, he gives you provision.
Yes.
And for so many of us, including myself, I like to see the whole plan. I'm like, God, just show me the plan so I can just be sure that I can do this. And sometimes it's been challenging for me because, I could only see like the next thing to do, but I wanted to see like 12 steps to do. And but the thing is, you've got to take that next step.
Yeah.
Even when you don't know what the end is gonna look like, just keep taking the next step. And when you take that next step, then the next thing will unfold. So just keep taking the next step and just keep believing, keep trusting. And when things look really dark, as they will sometimes, I know you know that things will look really dark, but we've just got to trust and know that God's got our back and
Yes.
He did not bring us this far to leave us. So that's
Excellent.
my advice.
And then, we always quote that scripture verse. I think everybody in the world knows it, just like they know for God to love the world is, for I know the plans I have for you. But there's another one that says, write the vision and make it plain. And I always say that he tells us to write the vision. He didn't say,
Hmm.
hey, write a vision and then just go ahead and just get it done. He wants you first to get it out, write it. Because
Right, right.
if you don't have a vision, then you don't know where you're going. And the
Hmm.
thing is, a lot of times, it things the way it's in our mind with God, it most time it never works out that way. Sometimes it doesn't even come close to them. Like, oh God, I thought you wanted me to do this, and he just changes it around. But when you
Hmm.
was saying, I was like, man, if she was hanging with me, she would have been like, because I usually just jump first, and then I was like, okay, you want me to do this? I don't know how it's gonna come out. I don't know how it's gonna end, but I just go head first and just trust God all the way. And everybody don't have that way, but with practice and even as you continue to grow your business, then you will realize, you know what, I have nothing to fret because God, who gave me the vision, like you said, already makes the provision. And I
That's
think a
true.
lot of times that is where we don't understand it, or we may even lose, or like they said, that there are more gifts and talents in the grave than out there, because a lot of people don't even live to their full potential. Because sometimes you are so we may be so afraid to step out and do what God has called us to do. We just stay back.
Right.
we stay back. We're like, okay, I'm gonna wait till I get this and wait till I get that, and then put, you know, God, He's a way maker,
You
and
are absolutely.
He makes a way, and many times it is just not the way that we think. And I think even for me, sometimes like I don't learn because then it's like that's not how God does stuff. He does it in His way. So just quit stressing, just trust God, and I remember even when the pandemic hit, and I always said that on my show, and I had just quit my job because I was working my job full time, but working in
Hmm.
this full time, so it's almost like working two jobs and then participating in my church. So I pretty much had no time. Um, but I said, okay, you know what? Business is looking really good, and I don't think I'm gonna be able. I need to be at that job because I had met with the mayor of our city, and we had a
Hmm.
really great event planned for young entrepreneurs. Then I also met with the Chamber of Commerce and Mr. Martin, and we were talking, and we already had reserved. I'd already reserved the theater by the Fayetteville School because we were going to have a huge Fayetteville Fashion Week, and everything looked so great. And I had gigs that were lined up where I was going to get paid to present my work and stuff like that. And then the pandemic hit, and it's almost like the bag is, like someone just pull it like Aladdin, but Aladdin fell off the magic carpet. That was me. I literally fell off the carpet. The carpet left, and I was,
Oh wow.
you
Yeah, I
know,
remember when you were planning that. That was very exciting.
yes, and it was just it looked and but even and then when this happened, I got stuck at home, and I was like, okay, and me a person, I love to dress and just
Hmm.
go places, do events. I've never really just in one place, but I had to continue trusting God that through it all, that God was going to make a way, and even in that, I learned so much. I've I did not get to do some of the things that I wanted to do, but I know I am still going to do it. But I just wrote my fourth book, and now that's a book which is on my birthday. I'm going to we'll talk about it a little later. Release it, but that came out of that. And even in all of this, I had to see the big picture and say, you know what, God is faithful. God has never let me down. I'm gonna have to trust Him. And then just lately, it was one tragedy after the next, after the other, and even just yesterday, we just buried my uncle a few weeks ago, my dad, and I was talking to my cousin in England today, like trying to find out when they're gonna bury our next family member that has passed, and I had to just say, even God, I'm just gonna trust you through it. And sometimes, yeah, it gets sad, it's hurtful and stuff, but I say, you know what? God has seen me through so much other things. I will feel the pain, but I am not going to just say, woe is me and blah, blah, blah. No, I'm going, when I feel like crying, I'll cry. When I feel down, I'll call someone, I'll complain or whatever. But in all of it, I was like, okay, what can I do? And even if the pandemic, too, when all that happened, next thing you know, I was making face masks. Never in my wildest dream would I believe that I was gonna make face masks. And I had to shut my website down a certain time because it was like it was selling faster then I could make it because my goal, I actually was making them and giving them out to like the frontline workers, the firefighters, the sheriff's office, doctors, and stuff like that. And I was like, wow. So even in the midst of turmoil and challenges, God is still there, and God always make a way. But we have to be able to be quiet enough and to have that faith that even all of this is falling around me,
Hmm.
I'm going to trust God. Just like Daniel in the lion's den. I mean, imagine being in a lion's den and you chill praying. I'll be like, maybe I would get a heart attack. Like, you know what? I'm just dead right now. But yeah, it's really having businesses can be really challenging because you got to pay your own utilities, your own bills and stuff.
Hmm.
But as a believer, I know that God is the one who gave me the vision, and regardless whatever happened, I'm gonna have to trust Him, and
Absolutely.
that's
Yep.
how we go, like every day. But I'm gonna talk about. I'll give you a little break because I'm gonna talk about some of the things that I have coming up. So one of the first things I want to talk to you guys about is let's see what we have there. In well, let's go to the recent. Next week is my birthday, which is March 7th. So tomorrow, I think March starts tomorrow. and I am going to be celebrating the whole month of March. But my celebration, you guys know, is to empower and to help people. So, but on the 13th, we're going to have a virtual party, and that virtual party is, I mean, uh, it's invitation only. So check your Facebook post. You may get an invitation and stuff like that. We are going to everybody. I want them to meet, wherever they have, whether it's wine and cheese you're having or full course dinner, because there'll be about 10 or 12 of us in my center, because we can't take too many people there, so maybe just my family. But we're gonna have like it's gonna be really decorated. But I want everybody to just join in. When you join, you can have your wine, you can be having dinner. We're gonna have some giveaways. That's also the time that we're going to launch the girls mentorship program that we're doing. Restart to empower. Our one of our main goal is really to empower people, and God gave me the vision to be able to meet with these girls from 13 to 19 and empower them, but not just empower them and just say, hey, you're good, you're this, but to train them. So we're gonna have different training classes, sewing classes, we're gonna have maybe cooking classes, we have health and wellness, we have fitness, we just have like a whole range of things for these young girls. So we're going to launch that on the 13th of March as well. So these young girls will actually be live as well. You guys won't be able to see them because I want to keep them private, but they will be on like on Zoom, but we'll be on my another network. So we'll have like two things going on. So I want, if you guys know any young girls that's between the ages of 13 and 19, and even if they're on the flyer, we may say underprivileged, at risk youth, that does not mean these are the only girls that we're welcoming. Any young girl that you think that will benefit from the program, we want to pour into them. We want to empower them. But I was speaking to another mom, and one of the things we were talking about was we want to give into them, but we want to also train them to give back. Because a lot of times we give and give, and we put these kids out and they just know how to receive. We want to teach them how to give as well. So that is a twofold program for Restore to Empower. And the last thing I want to talk to you about is just real quick, on June the 2nd, we know the 26th, I think, or the 27th, but we'll have the right date. We know all of that is Caribbean month in the U.S. and what we're doing. And I have a friend of mine from Antigua, and her company is called So Rise Music. Her name is Stancha Cornelius. So we've been talking and going through all this stuff. I'm going to put on my first Imagine Me TV, and we Stancha, she's going to help me put on the first music videos and fashion awards show. So I think on March the 5th, I believe. Let's see, nominations begin on my birthday. Okay, that's good. So right there, 3/7/21 nominations will begin. So if you know a fashion designer, so let me tell you some of the categories that we have. So just in case you know a fashion designer, we have let's see, top designer. We have the Icon Award. We have accessory designers, emerging designers, outstanding designers. For the music categories, we have best reggae. We have animated videos, soccer, hip hop, hip hop. Let's see, dancehall. So all these different categories of awards that we have. So you will get more information about it. But on March 7th, it will be open that way. If you want to nominate someone, the designers can nominate themselves. Stan So Rise Music in Antigua will be helping with the music part. So we'll let you guys know even more about that. But if you're interested or know anyone that's interested, let us know. So these are three awesome things that we have. And I am going to get back to my guests, and we're going to continue with this awesome interview. Yes, yes. So how you feeling, my dear? How is it so far?
I'm enjoying it. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So let's see. We did this one. Okay, so let's talk about one of my favorite things. You mentioned it earlier. That you're a worship leader and you play music and stuff. You're preacher's kid. So tell us more about that role in church and more about that ministry.
Well, I absolutely love it. I didn't always love it. As a child, I wanted to sing, but as a musician, I had to play the piano. So I didn't get to sing and do all the moves all the kids did when they were singing. And yeah, I love that. But now I tell you, it is, it's such a service from the heart for me.
Yeah.
And at the church I play at now, right across, straight across from where the organ is where all the older mothers sit. And when my mother was alive, she would go to church with me, and she sat over there with all those mothers. And so every Sunday, well, not now during the pandemic, but when there wasn't a pandemic, I would play the organ, and I'd see those mothers over there patting their feet and just rocking. And I tell you, that was like Christmas for me. I was just so thankful to have that talent to be able to just bring that joy to them and let them feel the spirit as a result of us being there in church making music together. So I love it. I really love it.
That's amazing. So with the pandemic though, how has that affected your church service and stuff like that? And the members, are they coming back, or how does that?
Well, we were closed down for, I guess, a couple of 2 or 3 months or so. Well, probably several months we were closed, and then we opened back up with just a very small congregation,
Okay.
and then the numbers started rising again. So then we stopped having a congregation come in at all, and now it's just the pastor, the musician, a couple of singers, and then someone to actually tape the service.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's what we're doing now.
Okay. So like you record yours and then you have it live.
So they recorded it's well, it's not streaming live.
Okay.
So they record it, and then they put it on the church's Facebook page and then on a YouTube page as well.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. That's good. Yeah, because what we do ours, we stream it live. So I guess that way, you can edit it and stuff like that. But ours is just we just do it, and
Hmm.
today, and um we know that the enemy was so busy because yesterday my husband and I went there because sometimes we had struggle with the internet or something, and
Hmm.
we went there yesterday, spent hours and get everything working. We did a 30-minute run through live, and everything was good, and everything was set up. So today I come to just go live, and everything just crashed, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, wow, because we know it was working. But we know it was the work of the enemy, but we were still able to get it back on. And
Hmm.
we started late, but we worship and we just let the Spirit of God move. And then when I came back in my seat, I'm just seeing like a black screen, and I was like, oh. And it's saying that your video is not playing. And for me, I was like, oh man, I started to panic. I was like, not again. But then my husband quickly checked it, because then I said, well, if it's not playing, then no one has text or no one is saying anything. And I know what the enemy wanted me to do was just shut it down, because when I see the black screen, I was about to click and stuff. I was like, but, and it's like God held back my hand, and one of the brothers, Brother Melvin, said, I'm still seeing it. And
Oh,
it was
wow.
weird because the whole thing is black. We took a picture of it, and it said that your network is not working or whatever. But yes, that we took a picture of it. It said that it's not. And I was like, but then the whole thing was, still playing on. But even then, the Spirit of God was like, set up another camera just in case. And
Hmm.
because by the time the preacher finished preach, the whole thing shut down. But then the other camera was there to be able to pick up the latter part, because the latter part was just really God just ministering through songs, and that was just, for me, it was a blessing for me, and to be able to go back and hear the word of God and stuff like that, I was like, wow. So we still, for us, we have a very small gathering. But um so do you think like people are just afraid to come out of church, or because I mean people still go shopping and do everything else that they have to do? Why so do you think that the church is the one where people don't want to come, and when to me that's where we spend the least time? And if we have the separation, we're not like, to me, it's this: you go to the grocery store, there's a bunch of different people. You go to your job. Why?
Right.
You have an idea that, because I can't understand that part. Why people don't come back?
Yeah. We've talked about that at church. because like you said, people go pretty much everywhere they want to
They
go,
try to.
but they don't go to church. It's like when it comes to church, it's like, well, the pandemic, and so we better not go. I
Yeah,
don't know. I don't know. I don't know if people just want an excuse not to go. I'm not sure.
and I think I think people they get comfortable. And that is it's not a fear that I have. We have to be very careful because you can get so comfortable. When people get comfortable in their ways, they don't want to change. For me,
Hmm.
it would be good for me to just chill out there, even like that when after my dad passed and all this stuff was going on. And me as a worship leader, I didn't have to get up to go to church. I was like, oh, that's cool. I could do that. But
Hmm.
then I realized that, I have to, God, there's a work that I have to do. And the Bible said to not forsake the assemblies of ourselves together. And like for me, I did not used to go anywhere.
Hmm.
My daughter can tell you, we everything, the grocery shopping, everything was Amazon, Walmart, everything came to my door. The only place
Hmm.
I would go was to go to church. I still get COVID, and I did not get it at church.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
people are getting comfortable, but we need to be careful because you get so comfortable, you begin to get lukewarm. Because to me, I'm not saying that the whole crowd should come back, but if
Uh-huh.
we stagger where like 15 say, we come today, this come. If everybody was not going anywhere, I'll be like,
Hmm.
well, that's cool. But people are life as usual. They still go to work. The
Right.
kids go to school, and it's the work of God that's just like, okay, we can't do this because the pandemic's gonna get us.
Right. Right.
And
Yeah.
but we pray and trust God for all this stuff. The I don't know, because we get in the car and drive, and I'm not saying you get in an accident, but something can happen on your way there. So, uh, something we need to be very, what I'm saying is that we need to be careful that we don't get too comfortable. And when everything just get cold, and there are souls out there are people out there that still need us.
That's true.
We're just home chilling, you know. It it's a sacrifice. Serving God is a sacrifice, and to me that's part of the sacrifice, where you can say, what, I'm gonna go to church. Let me just make sure I follow the rules, be comfortable, and you know do it right. But
Yeah.
so hopefully something changes. But I know we are running out of time, and but I just want, so how do you, a quick question though, how do you balance like your commitment to, like, and I guess this is what we were talking about, commitment to church and family and work. How do you balance that?
That's a very good question. Uh, I have a servant's heart. I
Mm,
love serving people. I have always loved serving people. I
praise God.
didn't realize that, but I jumped at the opportunity to serve people. And so I think my family is aware of that, and I am the happiest when I'm serving.
Yes.
And so I don't know that it's just a part of who I am. It's just a part of my life. So it just kind of all flows together.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
I do understand what you say, because then even with us, and yesterday I was really upset because I got the information late that I needed to go pick up the food boxes to give to the people that are in need. And because I got information so late, we had the day plan, and I didn't have time to go get a truck and stuff. I was so mad. But it's so funny because I was out there in the cold packing the boxes like last week, and I was so happy. And like, for me, even for me, I was like, I don't want to drive anywhere. I don't want to mess with this. But knowing that I was doing it for somebody else and being
Hmm.
able to give them stuff, and sometimes I would take my money and buy stuff, and then I know it's like I could need something, but I'm like, to see them happy to be able to give, it's something that's so natural and so. I mean, it's awesome. It's awesome to and then I know I've been around you, and you make everybody feel comfortable. And when we're at Pinewood Studios, and everybody will be rushing to try to talk to you, and so thank you. That's a gift, and I thank God for that gift. So the final question before you give your closing statement. What's your I am okay? I put it. You're the first person I'm asking that question. I know this was God moment. So something that's just like, whoa! I know this was God.
Hmm. I know that this was God. The first thing that pops into my head is when I met my husband.
Oh,
Yeah, interestingly enough, the day I met him, I went home and I called my girlfriend and I said, I just met my husband. And
who's
yeah, and she laughed. She fell out laughing. She was like, yeah, right, Deborah. I was like, no, for real, I'm going to marry him. She
wow.
had barely said two words to me. As a matter of fact, the office that I worked in was a supporting office for his department. And he just came to pick up a report. And when I saw him, I was like, oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah. So I think the day I met him, I was like, that's God. That is God.
Praise
Um,
God.
but then the other thing though, but more so than that, because I mean that was lovely. We got two children, but I was in an absolutely horrible car accident. Like horrible. I had a little sports car and I worked third shift. I was driving home from work. I just got off work at 7 o'clock that morning. But God had told me probably a month prior that something was going to happen and that I would come close to dying. But don't worry because He would protect me.
Wow.
That's all I knew. I didn't know anything, that I had no idea what was going to happen. And so I was, the closer it got to that event, it was like the more intense that feeling became. And so I finally spoke to a woman at work about it. And she said, sweetie, every night before you leave coming to work, don't leave your house until you pray and ask God to bring you back safely.
Mm.
And so, I mean, I was a young kid. I was probably what, 19, 20 years old, something like that. And so this particular day, I was running late and I forgot to pray. And I saw, oops, let me jump back in the threshold and pray right quick. And that morning, I ran off the road in a very deep ravine. And I say an angel came to me because I was down so deep you couldn't even see where my car was.
Wow.
Yeah. And he took my hand and he said, are you okay? And I said, don't let me go over the time, Arthleen, but
No,
this
go
story is
ahead. That's my show. I control the show. Go ahead.
okay. So he took my hand and he said, are you okay? And now remember, I'm a preacher's kid.
Mhm.
And I said to him, what do you think? I just ruined my brand new car and I'm lying down here and I can't
Oh,
move.
wow.
Because when the accident first happened, I was like, okay, baby, I was talking to myself. I was like, so you got to get up and you got to run because I could smell gas.
Mm.
And so I'm thinking the car is going to explode. And I tried to get up and I couldn't. And I said, okay, don't worry about it, baby. Let's count to three and then we're going to get up and run. So I'm talking to myself like it's two of me.
Oh,
And so I tried to get up and I couldn't move anything. And I did it again, counted to three, couldn't move anything. So finally, I just said, okay, just take a break and relax. Don't worry, you're going to get up. So it was like my higher self talking to my fearful self. And so I lied there and I said, okay, let's do it again. And I tried to get up, couldn't move a muscle. And it was at that point when that man showed up and he took my hand and like I said, he asked me if I was okay. And I said, what do you think? I'm lying down here. I can't move. And then he said, well, I want you to know that I'm praying for you.
wow.
And when you get to the hospital, you're going to be in so much pain. They won't give you anything for pain. But I want you to remember me and you'll be fine. So the paramedics finally came. And then I remembered how mean I had been to this man. And so I said, I need to apologize to him. So when they were there, the paramedics were there. I said, hey, where's that guy that was here with me when you guys got here? I want to apologize to him. I was so mean to him. And they said, what man? And I said, the guy who was here with me holding my hand when you got here.
Wow.
And they were like, there was nobody here with you. I was like, yeah, it was this guy. He was right here. He was holding my hand. You couldn't have missed him. He held my hand while you guys came.
Wow.
And they said, there was nobody here. And then they looked at each other and like as if, oh, she's crazy. They said, oh, that man. I
Oh,
was like, I'm not crazy. He was here. So anyway, they took me to the hospital, and just like he said, they wouldn't give me anything. I begged for pain medicine. It was horrible. They wouldn't give me anything. And then I said, oh, that man. And the minute I said that, it felt like a concrete slab had lifted off my body. And the more I thought about what he said, then I thought, well, he said I'd be all right. So then I thought, well, let me just try to move my toe. And I could move my toe. And then I thought maybe I could move my foot. I could move my foot. But prior to that, the nurse came in and I said, please just give me something for pain. I will sign anything. Just give me something. And she said, sweetie, we are afraid that you may be paralyzed, but we're praying that you're not. So we're not going to give you anything for pain.
Oh.
So the doctor comes back in later after I've thought about this man and I finally could sit up on my own. And when he walked in, he was reading a chart and he said, I'm so sorry to tell you that you are, and he was, he said, paralyzed. But then he said, who propped you up like that? And I was like, I sat up on my own because I'm ready to get out of here. So that is my story. It was God. It had to be God because there's no way that I went from not being able to move anything to being able to sit up on my own. Yeah.
That's a testimony. I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been contemplating giving that testimony down at the studio.
That is a powerful testimony.
Yeah.
Wow, wow, well, I feel so honored to be I can say, oh, you know, like you heard it here on Imaginary TV. Yes, yes.
Yes.
But my sister, wow, that's an amazing, amazing testimony, and that is God. That is God.
Yeah.
One of the things that you said in that, and even when I come back, I just want you, once I make that statement, to just, talk to our viewers, even as you close, any word of encouragement. But one of the things you said that was, when the person told you, and I think that is something that we all need to do, that every time you leave home, to pray and ask God to bring you back safely. Like,
Mhm.
sometimes I know I forget to, and even if it's just short and quick or something like that, even like, and I think that may be something that everybody should adopt. Right on Imagine TV, you hear it. Before you leave your house, just say, you know what, God, I'm getting out this door. Just bring me back home safely. And that's
Absolutely.
really true. But, we're coming to a close, and this is the end of the show. It's really been a wonderful, amazing pleasure. And I always tell my guests, we never can get the whole story in one sitting, All of our lives are like books, So I'm definitely going to have you come back. But just for someone that's listening, whether it's a mother, a wife, or a business person, just, give a word of encouragement to them for me, please.
So I just want to say to all the listeners that, God put a vision in all of us. There's a purpose for each one of us. And I just want to encourage you to just listen to what God has put inside of you. And even though you may be afraid, just act in the face of fear. Because, God didn't give us a spirit of fear. We developed that fear ourselves. So we just need to go ahead and step out and just put one foot in front of the other and just keep trusting God because He will make a way. If we take one step, He'll take two. That's what my dad used to always tell us. And I tell you what, I've tried it and it works. So let's just trust God and keep moving.
Praise God. Like you said, act in the face of fear. So that means even if the fear is there, make a move, act, do something. And
Right.
my sister, I am so honored, and I thank God and thank you for empowering us, encouraging us. Sometimes I bring guests on here saying it's to help my viewers, but every guest that comes on here really blesses me, really. I get some nuggets that I can put into my life as well. So I really appreciate you, and I just want to thank you. And we'll continue to share the information about the school and make sure that the kids that need to know, the families need to know that they can get this amazing thing. So once again, thank you very much. I really appreciate you, and thank you for your great testimony and empowerment. God bless you, my sister.
God bless you. Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Guys, I just want to say thank you to all our listeners all over the world. We are so honored to have everyone that takes the time. We don't take your time lightly, that you come out on a Sunday evening and spend an hour with us. So we just want to say thank you. God bless you. And next week is my birthday. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. This is March the 7th. Who knows? But it's going to be a phenomenal show. The following week we'll be celebrating. So this is Imagine Me TV, real life, real talk with Arthur Lawrence. God bless and have a fabulous week.